for sensation online. The one-time doctor, never been afraid of an on-top of you imposters. The game been the same, the middle school lockers up. Edge with the pair of tempos with the right collar, putting up in the bluff. Stand like that blocker, oh so in the know control. Can't stop the flow, put your seal in the glass you got. Tell me how you feel when you breathe. Something that you're looking in the mirror for. Reason that you wanna believe. Everyone is looking for the meaning by. Oh, we dying to heaven, trying to get by. I stay high, but I'm down with the ground control. Ground control. Down with the ground control. And I don't wanna live like this. Where they go? Oh, and I don't wanna live like this anymore. Moving in my life, unhealthy stuff. Oh, I don't wanna live like this anymore. There's something in the way you do it, carry yourself. It seems to me you like to use it like no one else. Oh, and I'm watching the way that you move it. Look at his face. Oh, and my heart gives me no shine. You're in the right place. So let me lead the way.
Welcome to the Every.Thing.After podcast. I'm your host, Rob, and my guest for this week's show is Jordan David Miller, who goes by the stage name Jwadi, and who I met at Cleveland's Beachland Ballroom Tavern, a stop on a leg of his summer tour, opening for this show for a band called the Supervillains. Jwadi is touring his second solo album called The Year of Subtraction, a soulful, often raw, always rousing journey of self-reflection, revival, and reinvention. His music style fuses reggae-rock, indie folk, and hip-hop. With a soundboard, guitar, small keyboard, and a looping pedal, man, does it fill a room and make it get up and take notice. I was, first of all, just so surprised by the sound coming out of you. I saw you setting up, and my first thought was roadie. But then when you started playing, immediately I was just struck by how powerful and unique your voice is and how big it all sounded. It was a small room, not a big crowd at the start, but you really drew people in, and I watched it happen. It was just really
awesome.
incredible.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was fun. That was a good time. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, man. It's just, again, just completely struck by it. So I had to dig and get to your story a little bit. I was just so fascinated by it. I got to talk a little bit with your girlfriend at the show, and she shared some things. And the more I learned about you, the more I just thought, I got to get this guy on my podcast to talk about this. But
yeah,
some people, I guess, might remember you or recognize you from the early 2000s when you co-founded the reggae rock band The Movement with hits like Habit and Set Sail. And you left that band in 2012 after 3 albums and about 10 years touring the world. I know that era was marked by a lot of personal struggles, and your new solo project coming another 10 years after that really reflects on that and your recovery. And that story to me is just really remarkable, and a big part of why I hoped you'd come on the podcast to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because a big part of what this podcast is about is really rediscovering and rekindling the things that drive us, that make us who we are, striving to be our unique, weird, authentic, creative selves after going through some shit and amid a world that needs that creative energy but always doesn't value it like it should. But could you share a little bit of that story with us?
Yeah, man. You kind of summed it up. Yeah, I was with that band. I think I started when I was like 21. And then left in 2012. And from 2012 until October of 2023 or October 2022, which is it was kind of a circus, man. It was I was kind of all over the place and absolutely nowhere at the same time. Just really, really bad heavy drinking to the point to where it got so bad to where, man, it was bad. So I decided to, and I was doing no music. I think I would like do a show here and there, but it was nothing like trying to promote it or do anything with it. And then 2022 in October, I decided to check myself into a rehab place in South Carolina. I went there for 2 months, and then immediately after that, I went to a sober living community for 8 months. And in that time, you get a lot of time to to yourself and to think, and I don't know, man. Something just kind of I wanted to just number one, I had a lot of time on my hands, and number two, I kept always going. I kept going back to the writing because that's kind of what I do more
Yeah.
than anything. And I thought, man, it'd be a perfect time. I kind of have this time to get better and to sort of develop some new habits. So I ended up just kind of putting out a record. I did the whole thing there. I had a laptop and a keyboard and a guitar, and I wrote that whole record there, and then got it done with a guy in South Carolina to get it all mastered and stuff.
Yeah. Was it all the glitters?
Yeah, that was all the glitters. That was the first one. That's kind of was my first solo record. And that was fun. It kind of just poured out. I'm like one of those guys that I don't really know what stuff means until like way after the fact.
Yeah.
I know that sounds kind of weird. I just like other people ask me what that record's about and the recovery thing, and it definitely is because I was in that environment, all day and night. But I'm not sure but it was a fun record to make. It was really cool with the fact that I got to do it there. There's a great story
Yeah.
behind that. You know what I mean? So it makes for a great story. The fact that I was fortunate enough to be able to pursue that was really awesome. And not a lot of people, I don't think. It doesn't really matter. I don't take it for granted. It's really cool.
No, man, that's great. I think it takes a lot of strength. I wonder if you talk a little bit more about the music and how that played a part in your healing journey too, because it sounds like it was really a big part of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same. I mean, that's kind of been a baseline for me forever. It's like as long as I can remember,
Yeah.
just boxes and boxes. I mean, everywhere that I went, there's just always stacks of notebooks laying around. Like there is now, there's a million of them. I mean, this is just one turn to the left, and there's like there's
Yeah.
stacks of them. They're
That's
everywhere.
great.
So I constantly do that, and I don't really know what it was. I think it was just more of a. To be honest, I think even my answer probably would have been different a month ago because I've always
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by how much you actually forget when you quit drinking and how much you have to like, kind of restart things and learn how to navigate through different things. So back to the record, I didn't really have a plan on like putting a record out. I just wanted to kind of have a project to be working on. So it was something to
Right.
sort of be creative because regardless, the creativity will come out. Seen it as kind of an outlet. Make the record with the hopes of I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go. It wasn't like that. It was just kind of get the record. Just do something. Just have
Yeah.
have something to be proud of and something you can kind of point. And there's not really anybody else around you doing it. It's like helping you or doing anything. It's just kind of you kind of on your
Yeah.
own and
Yeah.
with you and your words and your guitar. And it was fun. I mean, I was happy to do it. It was like a really good time. It was a good period of my life. Seems like forever ago, but it was not that long ago.
Yeah.
I had a good time doing it, man. It was really fun. It was really cool to be able to. It's almost kind of like you going through like recovery like that for me. Like, I'm not speaking for anybody else, but for me, it was kind of funny. It's almost kind of like I was on the outside looking into it, kind of in retrospect, and it was like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because before I never did that before. I was writing a lot, anything creating or projects or anything. It was always that sounds cool, but I got to drink first, like a lot. I got to be always, always, always. So to be able to do it clear headed and actually have a plan and work it and plan it, and it turned out to be something you're proud of. I mean, I couldn't
Yeah.
ask for anything more than that.
No, that's great. I think that's incredible. Like you kind of had to learn how to use that part of your brain a different way because it was so
Dude.
used to having a particular stimulant and you take that away from it and then you're kind of reteaching it to
Dude,
create without that. And
yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from in terms of a project because I'm so project minded and I think it's a coping mechanism because we try to activate that part of our brain, that positive part of our brain to maybe take some of the pressure off the negative part. We want to focus that energy in one direction and in order to distract ourselves from another. And I
Yeah.
think that's really incredible.
Yeah. It was no joke. But I say it sometimes if I get asked the question somehow, it kind of circles back to the sobriety thing, and I make the statement I had to relearn how to do everything.
Yeah.
Like that's not like a gimmick or it's not for show. Like I really
No,
did.
no.
I had to learn how to brush my teeth. I had to learn how to look at somebody in the face. I had to learn how to walk. And I still even to this day, I think, what is it, July? Yeah. So when did I get out? Next month will mark 2 years since I got out of there and I came straight to California. But man, I'm still figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a journey. I mean, it's a long one for me. Maybe some people just they just get it, but for me, it's kind of like, man, I spent so long doing it, I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
Like, I knew zero things besides I know how to do it when I'm drunk. I knew
Right.
zero things how to do sober. Zero. So it was really, I mean, and it still is to this day. But it's tricky, man. It's worth it for sure. But it's
Yeah.
like it's really difficult, or not difficult, but it's challenging sometimes.
Yeah. Well, man, I congratulate you on that
Thank you.
upcoming anniversary. I think that's incredible that you went through that. I think it shows
Yeah.
such incredible strength and endurance to be able to do that. I give you all the credit in the world for that. I think it's
Thank you,
amazing.
man. Thank you.
And I went back in your history a little bit and watched some of those videos and things with you from back in the early 2000s when you were with the movement and everything. And
I was an idiot.
looking at some of I took some footage of you here recently too, and man, you got it all back, like, and then some. Like, you are just like firing on all cylinders. Like, it's just like, it's so powerful. It's just so damn good. I
Thank you.
really respect it a
That's awesome. I
lot.
appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So we were chatting a little bit before got before we started recording about you being out and touring for the first time in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what that experience has been like? And
It good.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, again, the last time you probably went on a tour, you were, you were doing it drunk, right? A lot
Yeah.
of the time, and
That was the number one motivation.
you're reclaiming that now as a sober person,
Yeah.
and retraining yourself on how to do that sort of thing again as a sober person.
Yeah. Thank
How
you.
how was that? What was that experience like for you?
It wasn't. I mean, the first one when All That Glitters came out in September of 2023. In
Hmm.
January, I did my first. I don't know why I sort of agreed or made the decision to do this. It probably wasn't the smartest thing, like to do a little tour, with just you, or try to, it's like should have done that. But I had some of my three best friends with me, so that made it a lot easier. I took a lot of stress off just because I had them and they knew what was going on with me and my situation. But this one was just me and Jessica, which we had a blast. We had such a good time, man. But I don't know. I think the more, like, with every day that goes by, like, I'm kind of over, just now getting over the romanticizing it phase about, drinking or whatever. But this tour, I don't know. To be honest, in a nutshell, just kind of plain and simple, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I never found myself so incredibly engulfed in so many things at once,
Yeah.
and like not like bad things or things that are not good for you or things that are, I don't know, man, but challenging things that take up all of my time because I want it. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah.
that's kind of, and that sort of keep me. So that makes everything. It really does make every. And it might, there. I'm not gonna lie, and anybody that says otherwise, if they're in these shoes, kind of like, do things come up in your brain, and do you think about things? Does something, if you walk into a hotel and you smell something, does it smell like Jack Daniels? Does it make you go for a split second? And those things are going to happen. They just do. But
Yeah.
the ability with every day that passes, the ability to be able to address it and recognize it and just completely move forward for no other reason than the fact I got shit to do. I can't.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, if I do I have the ability to? Sure. But if I did everything, and I've done so much prior to today, right this moment, to get rid of the things I've tried to build since I've gotten out, which is a lot in my book, and it's fine, and it's so to go backwards, man, is you might as well just crawl up into a hole and die. That's all.
Yeah.
I can't think of it any other way. That's fine if you want to do it, but you might as well just go ahead and get rid of your phone. You're not gonna talk to anybody else the rest of your life, and just go in the corner somewhere and just drink yourself to death.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to do that anymore. And I did that for so long. I just sat in a corner and just drank. I was a solitude drinker. So that's all I did, alone drinking. But now I got too much. I got too much stuff going on. I got
Yeah.
podcasts. I got a PA system that came just now. Just came today. I unboxed it while right now. And so I want to learn how to mess with it. And I got
Yeah.
a million other things to do. It's good to stay busy and maybe haphazardly set myself up with a lot of things going on so that
Yeah.
the risk is really high
Yeah.
if I were to go backwards. And I don't mind standing still, I don't mind going really slowly, but backwards is no good.
Yep. Man, I respect that too. Your work ethic. You're doing this all on your own. You're a one man
Man,
show.
me. Yeah.
You're producing your stuff. I know Jessica's a big support because I
Oh,
got
she's
to
the
meet her a
dude.
little bit.
If it wasn't
She
for
was
her,
there
man.
doing merch and everything, and I don't know. Can you see? I got a
Oh yeah,
Jessica
nice,
original one right here, screen printed. Man, I wear
nice,
this.
man.
I wear this to shows now, man. I do.
That's awesome.
It's great. I love it.
That's awesome,
but
dude.
but I love your tour diaries with her. You got to take a little bit of time to see some sights, to do some stuff, to kind of take a breather as well. But I know you're busy, man, because you're doing so much of this just all on your own, and I really respect that a lot.
Thank you, man. It doesn't feel like. I mean, it gets overwhelming a little bit because that's you just kind of put that on yourself. But I really don't know what. I mean, to be honest with you, as far as like what I'm doing and staying busy, I don't know that it's like necessarily the right or the most productive or the right way. I have no idea. There's nobody here. I don't have anybody like in the business going, "Hey, man, we're going to do this and this." So it's just kind of me. And I don't know if I'm going in. I mean, I don't know if I'm doing it right or not. But I got to keep trying. I got to keep going.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know.
know, man. It looks right from where I sit,
Right
and
on. I
it's your
appreciate it.
right. It's your version of right. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's working for you, and that's
Yeah.
what matters. You tell me. Would you want to talk a little bit about Jessica and your relationship and how you met?
Oh
And
man, yes, my little Esquire. Yeah, she was great, man. She's never done the road thing before.
yeah,
So that was she'd never she'd also I didn't know this. I didn't know this, oddly enough, that she'd never seen like Utah. I never seen that part of the country. And if you've never been, words don't really give it justice. It's a beautiful place. Like it's
yeah,
all of that area. Utah, there's Colorado, there's the whole area, man. It's just jam packed with just like free therapy.
yeah,
So that was her first time doing that. So but on top of that, man, I have been when I first started and I was touring heavily. We didn't have we didn't have crews. We had like a merch guy, whatever. But I was toured with many and many and many bands who had full on crews and things. And dude, no kidding, this is because I'm biased towards her. She put some of those people to shame with her
yeah,
tour managing and Brody stuff and doing the merch. Dude, she was a freaking dude. She was a monster. She was a monster.
yeah.
Yeah, man. She wasn't doing that whole. I mean, you want to come back on the road with me? I don't know if I could do this without you now. You got spoiled with a good roadie, with a good merch person, you know.
Yeah, and I know you gave her a shout out from the stage there in Cleveland, and you said that she had just also recently passed the bar, just like you, a workhorse, just doing it all, man. I think that's
Yeah,
great.
our timelines. I feel like I was not joke about it, but I mentioned it that her and I, like our timelines, were both unorthodox in the things that we've done because we did them a little bit later than
Hmm.
I guess most people would, which I don't. I'm okay with that completely. But yeah, man, she passed the bar, and then she at first she wasn't gonna come on the road, and then she decided to. And I was trying to get some merch stuff together, and it's just me, and I don't know how I was gonna. I was planning on flying, but so we made the decision to drive, and she's going to come with me, and we were going to bring the dog too, and then we decided not to. But out of nowhere, man, she's like, "I'm going to go. I'll be right back." She comes back, and she's got a stack full of two like screens and some whatever else comes, to do the t-shirts. She just turned the garage into a screen print thing. Just
Yeah,
busted out, started screen printing, and I was like, "What in the?" She just like literally the day after she passed the bar, or she found out she passed the bar. So that was really really awesome, man. That was for both. We had a lot of fun. So yeah, she was. It was different for her. She had not. She was. It's kind of. It was a new experience, man. Everything. A lot of people, you don't really see that side of it. You see the playing,
yeah,
and then there's this whole idea that, all these bands, man, nobody's carrying their stuff for them. You know what I mean? The whole thing you do is you got to check in 4 hours before and do a sound check 4 hours before you play. And there's all that downtime, and there's the
yeah,
loading out, hanging around, and it's just like it's a lot to do. So if you've never done it, and I haven't done it in 10 years, but after three or four of them, you're like, okay, I remember this now. And it's kind of like, and she said this, I'm more calm. I'm usually I'm always doing something, but I was more calm out on the road than I've ever been, she's saying. And I thought, like, okay, it's kind of cool to me because I was
yeah.
actually,
That's
and I
great.
felt, thinking back on it, I feel like I was, but she, man, yeah, she was really awesome. She was really cool. But if you don't do that kind of stuff, you're not used to it. It can be pretty daunting. We got back and she was wiped out. Just wiped out. Tired, tired, tired.
Yeah, wow.
We had fun. We had a lot. I'm ready to go back out, man.
Well, I think what's great is, I mean, doing your solo thing, I mean, you have some gear, but you and Jessica can load up an SUV or van probably, like, and hit the road. You're pretty
Yeah,
mobile, I would think,
yeah,
right? I mean, you can get
yeah. I
to
mean,
some of these gigs. You can get across the country pretty quickly just doing it
yeah,
yourself.
yeah. She's. I mean, she's going to be. She's going to be obviously full schedule doing her lawyer thing. So I don't know if she's going to be able to do all of them. But any ones that she can, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
A
that's
lot, a
awesome.
lot of fun. A lot of fun.
What's it like now? I mean, see, there's a lot of differences because as we talked about it, this is like almost all new to you because you're doing it as a
Yeah.
solo person. But like, if you could think about touring in the early 2000s when you were with a band, and you know, you had some good times then too. There were
Yeah.
some struggles. Can you recall anything about those days that you can reflect on with some positivity?
Yeah, I mean, I mean that was a lot of fun. That was life changing stuff. It's not like we were some huge band or anything, but if you're lucky enough in your early to mid 20s,
Yeah, you were a young guy and you were all over the
yeah, I was
place. You
pretty.
were
I mean,
traveling.
pretty young. Both of us were. So to be able to go out and do, we were doing like 200 shows a year.
Yeah,
Pretty much living in that van, man, just back and forth across the country, just over and over and over again. So the experiences. I mean, I don't know like a specific one. I mean, there's so many. I really enjoyed, like some of the venues that we play. You kind of go in and you kind of look on the, if you go back to the green room or something, you'd see some of the people that have been on that stage, certain spots that have been on, there's some, that were really cool. But to be honest, I have so many people ask me about, like on my like messenger and things like that. I get messaged about, hey, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Do you remember, hey, da da da? And I honestly, like, I really don't like it's really
yeah,
funny because like my hard drive like got erased. I mean,
yeah,
and I don't know, like I didn't like I knew that I didn't remember stuff, and but I didn't realize the extent of it. But as it progresses and you move forward with your life and your day, I get just random. Hey, do you remember so and so? Or go even at Cleveland that
yeah.
night. A couple guys came up and were like, "Hey, man, you remember last time we were here? We sat over there. He was pointing at where we sat. And I was doing something or another. I don't none of it, man. He must. I mean, zero things about
Yeah,
that I remember. Um, yeah, so it's but I don't have. I mean, it was a really fun time. I don't I don't regret any of it at all. Zero
yeah,
things.
yeah,
I liked being on stage. I like doing that. It was fun. But
yeah.
it's wild like how much I don't remember a lot.
Man,
I
if I could have put a picture of you from then up against a picture of you now, you had a lot of hair back then, man. You had a real thing going on, didn't you?
I know, man. I know. It's wild. It's wild to look at some of those pictures and it's like I don't just an idiot, man. I was an idiot. I was an idiot. Plain and simple.
Talented then, though, and talented now.
Man.
Extremely talented. I'm glad that's come back to you and that you're out there making music again, man. Because what a loss for the world it would be if you weren't. You're doing great stuff.
Thank
Can
you.
you talk a little bit about this album, this new album, The Year of Subtraction?
Year of Subtraction.
Yeah, where'd that title come from?
I keep a running list of titles, and it's nothing more than that. I've yet, maybe once or twice, but less than digits on my body that I've like had it in my head, like a name for something or a song title or what it's going to be about, and kind of and follow towards it. It's always been right at the like kind of the last minute, and when it hits me, I just kind of know it. I had about five or six that were on there for the running titles of like what I would want to call a new record. It 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 was fitting, and it also sort of fit the timeline of what passing the new year. It had been just about a year or a little over a year since I had gotten out of rehab and got to California, and then kind of the smoke and the dust had settled. I got settled here, and so it was just kind of like now you have that moment of reflection where it's like, okay, I'm going to breathe for a minute, look around, and kind of, I just thought it was appropriate because it was throughout that time of making that record. I did sort of find myself kind of looking around, and you acquire things in life, as you get what I just as when people do, and it's kind of looking around at all the stuff that I had, and none of it was like, oh my god, I can't. I'm so glad I have that. Just a lot of so the tangible aspect of the year of subtraction was like, man, let's get rid of the clothes you ain't worn, let's get rid of this, all that kind of stuff. Then the other aspect of it, as far as like thought processes and situations and how you handle them, and how you carry yourself and how you sort of nixing, maybe not necessarily knowing what you want, but knowing more of what you don't want.
Yeah,
Because I
man.
mean, ultimately, if you cut enough of the don'ts out of there, you'll eventually, I don't know how long, but at some point, I guess that's sort of in my head, it's theoretically how it works. You cut enough stuff out, you'll get to what you want.
Yeah,
So I'm in that stage now, which I probably will always be at. Not 100% sure I'm not sure what I'm doing with all this stuff. I got more stuff in here than I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I really don't.
yeah,
But I'm learning what I don't like. I'm learning
right.
what I don't, want to have, and what I don't want to play, what sounds I do want. So you kind of learn by like cutting out the things you don't need. And that was
Yeah,
sort of
man. No, I get that.
the backdrop for the year subtraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
deep, man. I get that a lot. Yeah, you got to cut away the parts of you that you realize you don't need anymore. All that stuff that's there for no reason,
Which is a
that's
lot of stuff,
pulling you
man.
back
It's a
or
lot.
holding you down. All that stuff. I think everybody needs a year of subtraction. Do you feel like at some point in the not too distant future, do you see a time when you'll have a year of addition?
There's actually, I mean, when I did this thing, I'm having a hard time playing catch up with myself because I don't know when you're supposed to, how long do you wait before you put out new music? I mean,
Yeah,
you can Google it and you can find out, about. I mean, times have changed. I mean, getting back into the music game, I realized that, man, there's a lot of stuff's changed. I
yeah,
don't know, and I don't know nothing. I don't, I don't, man. But I mean, I'm already, sitting on probably 2.5, 3 records worth of material, and I don't know whether to put it out but I think, the year subtraction definitely is going to have a counterpart to it. Even if it's just like an EP or something, it's probably just going to be, some of the songs that I didn't put on the record, for no other reason, just the fact that I could only put so many on there. I only
yeah,
had
right.
enough time for that. So yeah, there's going to be probably something to kind of connect to it for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I love that that's just flowing. That you're just writing and writing, and it's just
Yeah,
almost like the pen has a mind of its own in a way, right?
yeah,
It's almost reflexive in a way. It's
yeah.
just coming out of you. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, man, it's just kind of it's just always been a thing. I don't know why or where it came from, but it's just always been a thing. But yeah, that was a good, that was an odd record to make because I did it all here. And then I got my buddy, went to South Carolina and helped me mix and master it. But yeah, that was kind of a strange thing because it's like you don't want to. I don't know. Sometimes I get you don't want to sort of sing about the same thing. I'm still going through the things I'm going through. Then that doesn't necessarily mean that I want to sing about it all day long. So that was kind of tough to kind of navigate, like how to get a good balance between, getting too deep with stuff, and then that was a little bit tricky. But the record turned out good. And
Yeah.
I never like any of my stuff, but like the record,
Okay.
the record turned out pretty good.
It sounds good. It really does,
Thank
man.
you.
Can you talk a little bit about the origin of your sound? I just feel it. It's so unique. I think it blends so much. What your website says that sort of list off some of the varied influences that you have. From Bob Marley.
It's got like Tom Waits. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like
I mean, I
you got
grew up.
just a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
Tom Waits, yeah. Bob Marley, The Cure. Like, talk a little bit about like how that came together for you.
I don't know, man. I don't. I think the question is how did reggae come about? Because I don't know where that. I mean, my mom had coming up. My mom had vinyl of she had some Marley on vinyl, but it wasn't in the big. Even to this day, I mean, I'm not a huge reggae fan.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, I like the older stuff. I don't really like
yeah.
what's happening
But
now. But I don't know where that came from. But as far as
more
coming
than
up,
that, though, I think it speaks to you and through you in a very unique way. I mean, you have a very unique personal touch to it.
yeah, I tried to. I guess I don't know. I don't really know if I tried to or not. I really don't know. I don't. But I know that I didn't come up with it as far as the reggae thing goes. So yeah, I'm not really sure about that. But as far as everything else and everything from the Tom Waits to I just everything was on limits to me. There was nothing off limits. Everything was like whatever it was, just listen to it. And I was really like, what is it? I don't know. I'm really heavily influenced by a lot of different things, and to the
Yeah,
point to where it's difficult to answer a question like that. And you get it. It happens. You get the question a lot, but how to answer it, I don't know. I just, everything from Aretha Franklin to the Breeders, man. It's just like it's constant up here. Like it's the fly on the wall in there is like, ooh, buddy. It's constant. There's a jukebox going constantly.
yeah,
Constant. And it's just a blend of everything. And so I just try to take it and like when I'm writing stuff, like I said, I never have any. I never have any, this is going to be about this or sound like this. It's just sort of what comes out.
Yeah.
And it's always kind of been that way. It's always been sort of like that sound, I guess, really, it's always been like that. It's always been mine, and
Okay.
I'm proud of that, actually. Like, I'm proud of, like, you can, it's on its own. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think all the greats say it the same, very similarly. Like, it's just, I don't know where it comes from. It's just there. Like it's been there.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get in trouble a lot when I think about it. 'Cause if I think about it too much, I'll alter it. Because I'm like, wait a minute, you shouldn't be trying this. So like, that's why I can't even delve on that. Because if I
Yeah.
think about it too much, I'll start wanting to, I don't know, start doing something that I don't know. So I don't really delve into it that much in my brain, other than like, it's just like a reflexive sort of thing. It just kind of comes out.
Yeah.
So and I just kind of roll with it.
Can you
But,
talk a little bit about your instrumentation? As I mentioned, you don't travel with a whole lot of gear, but you play guitar, you've got a keyboard,
yeah, I
you
got
got,
the.
a soundboard, you got some stuff going on. Tell me a little bit about that.
So that's all brand new. That was my first time doing that in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Second, the night before that was the first time. Uh,
Wow.
yeah, so usually it's just for the solo thing, which I mean, that's kind of what I'm gonna leaning towards that now. Like I said, I just bought the PA. I just bought a bunch of new different pedals and stuff, which I've never done the looping thing, like or anything like this, or with beats and stuff behind me. I haven't done that before. That was all. This is all new.
And
But
you
yeah,
killed
I
it.
was I was just doing the acoustic thing, and I thought some of these shows and people, get the opportunity to come and perform these different places, and sometimes they want an hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes. And I don't want to watch anybody play guitar for an hour and 45 minutes. I don't want to watch anybody sit with an acoustic guitar for an hour and 45 minutes. I just don't. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Bob Marley or you're Tom Petty. I don't want to see it because I get bored. I get bored. I got stuff to do.
Yeah.
But if I were to walk in there and there's some things going on, and I've got my eyes going, what is that? What is he doing with his feet? And that kind of stuff, and build some
Yeah.
interest. So I was like, screw it, let's try this. So I just took all of my music, and I just kind of bounced down and mixed on the instrumentals and played to that.
Man,
And
it
I got
worked. You got percussion going, stomp on your feet. You're doing all this stuff with the pedal.
yeah,
It drew a crowd like pretty quick. Like
cool.
people were like, "What the hell?" You're like, "This, what is this, man?" It
That's
just,
awesome.
it hit. It
That's
really
awesome.
hit.
Yeah, I'm glad it worked out. I still have yeah. We just got back last week, and then I have another show coming up here or in Ventura, California, on the 3rd of August, and it's like a 2 hour thing, hour and a half, 2 hour thing. I've been kind of just running around like crazy, getting some more material and getting my other songs kind of up to ready to do the back with backing tracks and stuff. It's been fun, and like I said, that's my first time doing it, so I'm ready to kind of build on it and kind of just keep seeing where it goes.
Yeah, yeah, man. You mentioned before we were talking about reaction and touring and people coming up to you and asking you to remember this or remember that. But I guess if you could just talk a little bit about the fans and are there many that come around and remember you from the day and say, do you have like a fan base or a following there that goes back to the
Yeah,
2002?
I think some people have. I don't. Again, doing things kind of completely on your own. First, getting your name out there. I can only push. I don't know, like running on all cylinders as far as like the everything from merch design to your social media to getting shows together to playing. So I think that a lot because the Sugar Shack thing was really helped a lot. That set a lot of things off as far as people are like, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that. That's the guy that wrote that say. I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah,
So there are a good handful of people out there, but probably maybe not as many. No, I don't know because I don't, the advertising thing, and getting the name out there and the tour and stuff. I'm just now getting into that. Like, this is the phase of like where I'm just getting into putting my face back out there and like touring and playing. So since I got out in that little tour, I was kind of in here being a recluse, and just sort of honing the technical stuff in here.
yeah,
But yeah, I've had a lot of people come up, like Cleveland, same thing. There are people coming up and somebody drove however long, 4 or 5 hours to come to that show because
yeah,
they did the older stuff, and it was like, wow, that's wild. And I'm so grateful for that because it really is. It's really, I don't know, it's a very cool thing.
yeah. I think it's great too. You take time to talk to people after the show and before the show,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I think people probably relate a lot to what you're doing and what you've gone through and how you're coming back from it. And yeah, do you have any stories about that? Anyone who's shared a personal?
yeah, man. That's a little like that's one of those things where and I have to be careful about when I say it out loud because I
Yeah.
don't want it to ever get convoluted or twisted that it's anything. It's a humbling thing. Yes, and
Yeah.
this isn't like an ego-driven thing at all. If somebody messages me, which is like not out of the realm of possibility for me to get messages frequently
Yeah.
about, thank you so much for writing this. It's got me through this time. It's got me through that, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, like I don't know how to respond to that because I don't. It's like amazing. Oh my God, geez Louise, that helps you through something?
Yeah.
Holy crap, man, that's awesome. And I
Yeah.
really, I let that sink in because it's really awesome that something that I'm just farting around with every year, and it means something to me. But like I can put it out and it affects somebody in a beneficial way. That's massive, man. Like that's really big, and I don't take that for granted ever.
Yeah.
Because that's somebody's life you're talking about, and you affected that. I don't take that for granted. It's important. I mean, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of people that message that or come up to me and just sort of, I've never seen them or met them. I don't know their names. I don't know who they are. I know nothing about them. And that piece of music kind of helped them a little bit along the way.
Yeah.
And so every time I get any of that kind of stuff, any of those comments or messages or somebody coming up, I always try to express how incredibly awesome I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
great. Man,
Yeah, man.
music has real power. That's amazing.
It does. Yes, it does, my friend. I agree.
You mentioned in the show, I think you said something about one of your videos on your channel was nearing 1 million views, I think. Was that
Yeah,
Sugar
The
Shack?
Edge. That was what I did at Sugar Shack, song called
Yeah.
The Edge. And I think it's like, so I don't know how that works. I don't know how YouTube and all the counting stuff work. I have no idea. I
Yeah.
know that they put that out. The release came onto my channel as well. I don't think my channel and their channel are not connected. They count differently. So you add mine and you add theirs, it's like 700,000. So it's kind of cool.
That's amazing, man. That's
Yeah,
great.
kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really great.
That was the first show. That was my first show right directly out of rehab.
Yeah. Wow.
Like first one. I got out of rehab and then like in January I went on that tour. The first show of that tour was the Sugar Shack sessions. The guys I was with, my buddies, we rehearsed that weekend. So I literally flew to South Carolina. We had 2 days to rehearse. And then they went on the tour.
Yeah.
And they had never played that music. They had never, so that was a pretty awesome experience.
That's great, man. Yeah. Go check out that video. It's really, really awesome.
Go check it out. Play it a couple times.
And then watch this one 1 million times too. We'll get this 1 million views as well. Hey, Jwadi, thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, man.
It's been a lot of fun talking to you. It's been great getting to know you and your
I appreciate
music
it.
and discover it. I really hope we can help other people discover it too. And I hope to see you out there again soon, man.
Yeah, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks for the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, brother.
Taking 2 for the road, seeing 3s in a bender, I'm snorting 4 in the nose, hollering 5 on it, rolling 20s on glass and 666s were permanent fixtures in parts of my past. I'm a chaos kid, and I move amidst the madness, is the way I is, and I walk among the sadness, but I stayed my bit. Now I just wanna dream it away. I fall asleep in the monsters, lying underneath my bed. They pushing me right over the edge this time, and I don't even know where it is. I fall asleep in the monsters, they come crawling underneath my bed. They pushing me right over the edge this time, and I don't even know where it is. Oh, and I don't even know where it is.
Hey, this is Scott Paris. I want to do a quick shout out for Every.Thing.After podcast.
And my ETA.
My ETA is.
And my ETA.
And our Everything After is.
Our Everything After.
And my ETA is.
Oh, hey, how's it going? I know you've been going through some stuff. I think we all have. And it's not all bad, but maybe there's enough of that you feel like putting something good back out in the world. Maybe you pick up a guitar or a camera. Maybe you decide to do a podcast or finally write that book. Maybe it's all of those things. It's not the things that happen to us that define us so much as everything after. And that's what we talk about on the Everything After podcast, where we have conversations with musicians and artists and filmmakers and writers, just creatives who are striving to keep their sanity by doing the things that they love and following their passions. If that sounds like you, we hope you'll join our Everything After community on Instagram. And like, listen, and subscribe to our podcasts that release weekly on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Thanks for listening. Until the next thing.